Hello students, I am Sheena, your science teacher for 8th grade. Hope you're all doing well. So we would like to start with our syllabus. So I am going to start with my first chapter. Hope you will assess a lot of knowledge this year in 8th standard. So let us start with our lesson. So the lesson name is crop production and management. So what is crop production? What is the meaning of crop? When a particular type of plant is cultivated in a large scale at one place, then it is called crop. For example, if wheat plant is cultivated or if wheat is cultivated at a particular place in large scale, then it is called wheat crop. So why do we cultivate crop? We cultivate crop to get food. Yes, food is very essential and a vital need for all the living creature. It may be human beings or animals or birds or plants. We all know that plants are preparing their own food, and we, animals, human beings, bird, insects, whatever living creature except plants, we are all dependent on plants for food. So this lesson is all about producing food and managing it. So that is the lesson named crop production and management. Before starting with this lesson, let us learn some importance of food. What is food and what are the importance of food? So let us revise our knowledge that we have learned in the 7th grade. So food is a basic requirement of life to survive. Yes, it is very basic. We all know that during lockdown, we have seen our parents or our neighbors or everyone, we rushed to the grocery stores or ration shops and we purchased food. Okay, and that was the basic requirement. We felt that it is so needed for our family, for us to survive. So that is very essential. Food is very essential to us. It is made up of various kind of energy-rich substances like carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, minerals, which are known as nutrients. Yes, food consists of all these components like carbohydrate. Carbohydrate that is there in the food helps in giving us energy to do our work. Likewise, protein, which is there in the food, it helps in the muscle development and growth, and fats help in getting more energy. Vitamins and minerals help us to fight against diseases, and that is what these components of food are very helpful to us in maintaining a healthy life. So we can see here, as I told, that carbohydrates. Which food is rich in carbohydrates? A group of food called cereals are rich in carbohydrates. We can see here wheat, rice. They are all rich in carbohydrates, and we know that we are eating this wheat and rice in large amount, like wheat, chapatis, and rice. Okay. Next, these are also carbohydrate. They are maize, bajra, jawar. We all know that we prepare this in large amount and we consume it in more proportion than the other food, than proteins or fats, because these are energy giving food. Next is pulses. So this is a group of food which is rich in protein. So pulses are rich in protein like pigeon pea, urad, lentil, pea. These are rich in black gram. They are all rich in protein. This protein helps us to build the muscle, it helps us in the growth, it helps in the growth of hairs. So this is very important. That's why these food grains, we are using it for making curries, palyas and all. And these are oilseed crops. Oilseed crops mean these crops are essential to get. These are rich in protein as well as it is rich in oil also. We produce or we obtain oil from these oilseed crops. Like sunflower seed, we'll get sunflower oil, niger, then sesame, castor, sesame oil, castor. They are all castor oil. They are all rich in fats. So see here, we obtain mustard oil, linseed oil from these crops. And the next is fiber crops. These fiber crops, they are cotton, jute. These are obtained from plants. So this fiber we are used to make fabrics. We know that cotton fabric. Then what about jute? We also make fabric, and also we make bags, mats from jute. So what I want to tell this is we are obtaining this all from plants. So this is all, if we are cultivating cotton plant in large amount, then it is called cotton crop. So like that, this is our fiber crops. So this is, once again, it is plantation crops. What does it mean, plantation crops? We know that we use tea, coffee, coconut, rubber. So even these plants are also grown in large scale at one place, then we can tell it is tea crop, coffee crop. So these are all crops. These are all planted for human use. This is fodder crops. Even we can cultivate or grow these crops in order to give food to the animals, livestock. So if you are rearing animals, even that comes under agriculture. So if you are growing or rearing animals, you want food to give to the animals. So you can grow these fodder crops and give food to the animals. So this is what. So these all slides tell that these are all crops essential for human use. Okay, so we learned that the human beings need protein, carbohydrate, fats, and also we learned that vitamins and minerals are essential. So vitamins and minerals are obtained by the body when we consume vegetables and fruits. So all these nutrients are very essential for a healthy life. So if you are not consuming the diet in a proper way, so you are prone to diseases or you have some malnutrition. That is what the next slide tells us about the function of food. See the first point, food provide energy for various metabolic activities. So there are so many metabolic activities that is taking place in our body. The metabolic activities means there are so many chemical reactions that are involved in various processes. For example, digestion, respiration, excretion. So we have learned so many life processes, isn't it, in the 7th standard? So all these need energy. All these processes need energy because they are all chemical reactions taking place inside the human body. So human body is like a machine, and what is taking place inside our body is not in our control. So it is all taking by itself. So what you need to do is you have to consume good amount of food and a proper diet, healthy diet. That healthy diet is very important. So during this coronavirus time, people tell that the doctors tell us to take a healthy diet. It is because to fight against diseases. That is what I added the point here. The first point is food provide energy for various metabolic activities. As I told, metabolic activities refers to the chemical process that is taking place inside the body. Next is it helps in growth and development of body. If you want to grow healthy, you need food. So you have seen some children with so many so many diseases. Okay, so we have learned in 6th standard about so many diseases that are caused because of malnutrition. So it helps in the replacement of worn out tissues, repair and repair of damaged cells and healing of wounds. So food also helps in the replacement of worn out tissues. Worn out tissues means if your skin get damaged because of any wear and tear when you are playing. Okay, so if the tissues get damaged, when the cells get damaged, so that damaged cells or worn out cells should be replaced with new cell. So how can a new cell can come and cover in that place? It is because of cell division. So a new cell can be formed in that region. Okay, that process needs energy, and that energy is we are getting that energy from food. So that is the point that helps us, that it helps in the replacement of worn out tissues, repair of damaged cells and healing of wounds. So it is very important process in our life, that by itself our body will be repairing the cells which are worn out. So it is, isn't it very amazing and wonderful aspect? Yes. Next is, it provides protection against diseases. As I already told that food helps in the protection of diseases. So if you are eating a healthy food, your body will be fit to fight against diseases. The immunity which is there in our body, that will be boosted to fight against diseases. So this is what the importance of food. This is what I wanted to show you, that the food is very essential. So all these food grains or food crops are grown for the human need. Okay, so we are dependent on plants or crops for our daily need. We need food. And the branch of science which deals with the production of plants and raising of animals useful to man is called agriculture. So agriculture is a branch of science which deals with the production of plant crops, plants which are needed for human beings. Not only plants, even if you are raising animals, it is also coming under agriculture. So we are doing both for our benefit. Yes, human doesn't do anything which doesn't give him importance. If the human being is getting something out of that, he is ready to do that. So that is what agriculture is all about, producing plant and animals for the use, for the need of mankind. Now, the first topic is crop. So the first subtopic in this lesson is crop. So what is crop? As I already told, when plants of same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called crop. So there are different types of crop. Why? Because different types of crops require different climatic condition. Yes. When we learned soil lesson last year, we came to know that even soil is a criteria for plants to grow. It means some plants will grow in clay soil because it needs more amount of water. Some plants would like to grow in sandy soil which has less amount of water. And some plants like to grow in loamy soil. Yes. See, even soil matters for the plant. Likewise, even climate also matters. For example, some plants will grow in hot region, some plants will grow in cold region, some plants will grow in moderate region. So even that also matters. And even seasons will matter for the crop. Sometimes the crop are grown in cold season, and sometimes it is grown in summer season, because some crops needs different climatic conditions. Like it is written in the next point that India is a vast country. The climatic conditions like temperature, humidity and rainfall vary from one region to another region. Yes. You know what is temperature? Temperature is in some region it is very cold, some region it is very hot, some region it is moderate, and some plants need it. It is having some specifications for plants, that it wants only so much of temperature. Next is humidity. Humidity means the moisture that is present in the air. That is humidity, and rainfall also. Some plants need more water, some plants need less water. So because of this variation, and also our India is a vast country, and every region is having a particular climatic condition. So accordingly, the next point, there is a rich varieties of crops grown in different parts of the country. So there is variations of crops. So in some region only wheat is cultivated in large amount. In some region jawar is cultivated in large amount. In some region where there is heavy rainfall or more water, there it is the rice or paddy. It is cultivated in large amount. So accordingly, in India, we are grouped the crops into two types. So first is Kharif or rainy season crop. The next is Rabi or winter season crop. Yes. How it is grouped? See here, you can see the criteria used for grouping. The If the plant is grown during monsoon or rainy season, then it is called Kharif crop. If the crop is grown during winter season, it is called Rabi crop. So Kharif crop require warm and wet weather, whereas Rabi crop require cold and dry weather. And this is very important point to be noted, that Kharif crop is sown in June because it is rainy during June, July and all, so that it is sown in June and it is harvested in October. What is the meaning of sown? Sown means sowing of seed, and harvesting means cutting of matured crop. So this is the season for Kharif crop. What about Rabi crop? Rabi crop is sown in October and harvested in March. So this is the difference. And the examples for Kharif crop are rice, jawar, bajra, urad, cotton, moong, groundnut, maize, soya bean. What about winter crop? It is pea, wheat, barley, gram, mustard, potato, linseed. See, this is very important concept. There is a type of crops. There are two types of crop, Rabi crop and Kharif crop. Kharif crop means rainy season crop. Rabi crop means winter season crop. And these are the climatic conditions required for Kharif crop and Rabi crop. It's very important. Next, we will learn about basic practices followed for crop protection. This is when I will read out these basic practices. First is preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protection from weeds, harvesting, storage. So there are 7 basic practices of crop protection. See students, this is very familiar to you because you have seen farmers around you. Yes, you have seen agricultural fields, agricultural process around you. Yes, we all know that farmers will prepare the soil later. This is preparation of soil. So preparation of soil includes plowing and leveling. So plowing, you know what is plowing means. Can you see the picture here? It is the picture of a plow. So it is it is made up of wood, and you can see here wooden plow. You can see iron plow here. So this is advanced plow. This is iron plow is very advanced. This is wooden plow. So can you see the blade here, the blades? So this blade is, what it is doing is, it is helping the hard soil, the topmost soil will be hard. How it will be hard is because of evaporation, it will lose the water in it and it becomes dry. It sometimes becomes dry. So what we are doing with this plow is, see, the plowing is also known as tilling here. So what is the first point is, plowing is a process of loosening and turning of the soil. I told that the topmost layer of the soil will be hard. So when we are plowing, we are loosening the soil. And turning the soil means we are turning the soil which is below to the top, and the topmost soil is going back to the bottom. So we are turning the soil. Next, this process is done by using a plow. Plow are made up of wood or iron. So plowing helps in loosening of soil. This we have to understand, that the hard top layer of the soil is loosened and it is turned. Why we are loosening the soil? So that is the fourth point, tells that loosening or plowing allows the root to penetrate deeper easily and allows the roots to breathe easily. See here, roots is a root tissue. You know what is root? Root is a tissue. Okay, you know what is root hairs, roots. It is made up of living tissue. It is not so hard. So if the soil is hard, it cannot penetrate. If you make the soil loose, the root can penetrate deeper easily, and it helps the roots to access water vapor, and also it helps the roots to breathe, because even root is a living tissue. It is also undergoing respiration. So it wants to breathe in the sense that when you make the soil loose, there will be oxygen supply to the rock or to the soil. So in between there will be oxygen, and that helps the roots also to breathe. So that is what I am telling. Soil is overturned and properly aerated by plowing. Soil is overturned means the top soil goes to down to the bottom, and the bottom soil will come to the top, and it is properly aerated. Aerated means the soil is mixed with oxygen or air. So this is what happens when plowing. And also plowing brings nutrient rich soil to the top so that plants can use the nutrient. So the nutrient rich soil is at the below. Okay, so there will be nutrient rich means by the decay of plants and animal waste, there will be the formation of humus, and that soil will be rich in nutrients, and that soil will come at the top, and the dry soil will go to the bottom, and it will be mixed together so that the soil is ready for sowing. So this is the point, that is preparation of soil. Preparation of soil is done by plow, and it is also called tilling. It is the process of loosening and turning of the soil. Okay, so why it is done? So that the soil get loosened, it get aerated, and the roots of the plant can go deep inside in search of water, and it can breathe easily. So this is called preparation of soil. It is done by wooden plow or iron plow. The next is, after loosening, what we have to do is we have to level it, and that is called leveling. The process to make soil surface in level for sowing seeds and as well as for irrigation is called leveling. So we are preparing the soil for sowing and also for irrigation. So that process is called leveling. This is done by using a leveler made up of wood or iron. You can see in the picture. After preparation of soil, the next topic is sowing. Sowing is done by broadcaster or seed drill. So after the soil is prepared, so the next step is sowing. Sowing is a very important part of crop production. So before sowing, good quality seeds are selected, and damaged seeds are not selected for sowing. So good quality seeds are selected. So good quality seeds are clean and healthy seeds of a good variety. So we have to check whether the seeds which we have for sowing is a good variety or not. So only a good variety seed can produce or yield good crops. So this sowing is done by two methods. The first method is broadcasting. You can see in the picture that a person is broadcasting the seeds or throwing the seeds randomly onto the soil. So this method is a traditional method. It is called broadcasting. And the next is seed drill. It is nowadays the seed drill is used for sowing with the help of tractors. This tool sows the seed uniformly at proper distances and depths. It ensures that seeds get covered by the soil after sowing. So this is the best method of sowing, that this seed drill sows the seed uniformly at proper distances. So if proper distance is given to the seeds, the plant grows without any competition for food and without any competition for nutrition and sunlight. So already this seed drill will ensure that the crops have or the seeds have proper distances. And this seed drill sows the seed in such a way that it prevents the damage of crops by birds, because this is planted inside the soil, this is sowed inside the soil, so it prevents damage of seeds caused by birds. So sowing the seeds by using seed drill, it saves time and labor. So it is very important or appropriate method of sowing through seed drill. So what will happen if you broadcast or throw the seeds randomly? So this is what happens. So in this picture, you can see in the left picture, you can see that a woman is walking. There you can see the crops are grown Okay, and in such a way that it is all clumsy, the crops are all clumsy, it is not have any proper distances or proper distance or space between the plants. So this is what happens. So when this happens, what you have to do is you have to pluck the seedlings again and transplant it properly by giving distance. You can see in the right side, two women are replanting or transplanting the seedlings with proper distances. So this again helps the plantlets or seedlings to grow properly. So seeds of a few plants such as paddy are first grown in nursery. Especially this method of broadcasting and replantation is done for the plant called paddy. Okay, so in this picture you can see that the paddy plant or paddy crop need standing water. So likewise they are transplanting the crops which are grown in nursery into a field where there is proper distances. And also you can see the top picture that this is the actual nursery where the crops or the plants are grown with utmost care. How the plants are grown with utmost care is by giving it proper temperature, humidity and manure. So the seeds are grown into seedlings, and that the place where the seedlings are taken care from seeds to seedling, that place is called nursery. And from there, from the nursery, we can purchase the seedlings and grow in our houses or in the fields or in the forest. So this is till here I would like to explain. So I hope you understood about the 2 points in soil practices, that is soil preparation and sowing. Thank you.